attempt.
Oh my God, live stream. It had so many different things opening. I kept opening up the wrong one. I do that all the time. The reason why is because I set the thing for Taco Tuesday, and then all of them are set for Taco Tuesday. So you think you're already on Taco. It's just disorienting.
We're all, technology gets the best of all of us. I don't care how smart we are.
Yes. So I don't think everybody's got to see our opening, Chuck. We worked so hard at it.
Yeah, we did. Are we going to do that again?
Let's. Do you want to try and see if we can recreate it?
Well, I think we should try to recreate the magic. I think we can find lightning in a bottle. There we go. Oh, and some of our people are back already. Hi, everyone. I'm back.
Oh, yes. Well, we had a bit of a bother with our stream.
Well, yes, we had a technological fart. But we're back, and thank you, viewers, for coming back. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that dog is so cute.
That's the opening.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to run late today. There's no way we can get through everything. Oy vey.
We'll get enough covered. But did you know, Kay here said that, hi, Whimsy, I'm spending my birthday here with you two.
Happy
birthday!
Happy birthday. We can always sing it again. I actually got to hang out with the birthday girl and her family. I felt like a very special guest. We celebrated her birthday. She turned 29 again.
Oh, I've done that several times already.
We will not say how many times she turned.
No, we won't. Carefully guarded secret.
Well, welcome to all of you. If you haven't had a chance to like and subscribe yet, and thank you for your patience while we got the stream up and running. I guess I want to first open the floor to you, Chuck. How are you?
I'm doing good. Nothing really big to report. I've just been working on my artwork. I've been making phone calls for you. Had a couple of lovely conversations today with some of your clients who are also our viewers, saying how much they love the show and sending love to both of us. And this is the kicker. She said, I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity right now.
Well, you are.
Well, I don't know about that, but that was.
You live in Hollywood, and you got a cool talk show. I think that's pretty cool.
It is, but we have some really special people out there, and you know what? It just makes me feel closer to all of you when I get to talk to you individually from time to time, and I feel like we're surrounded by friends, we're supported by friends. It's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how are you? Have you had a chance to look at the new book?
I just got my copy about 4 days ago, and I'm looking forward to it. I've only glanced through it, but you and I both are fascinated with the tarot and the fact that this is a novel written around that. I can't wait to get started. I'm going to begin very soon.
Yeah, I'm starting it tonight. So the book, we do have a book club at Taco Tuesdays. If you'd like to be a part of our book club, we get together with the author of the book the last Tuesday of every month. This was something that Chuck and I wanted to do. We wanted to bring people in the spiritual community together, just undiscovered writers, people in our own community. I'm just really excited about this one. It's called The Call of the Cars. Heather Hardison, and she has already agreed to come on and be interviewed. So we will be having her on the show.
You know, it's very exciting for me after I finish reading a book to have the treat of actually seeing the person face to face who wrote the book and discuss it. I can't get enough of that. You know, last week we had Rosalia Scalia. She's a personal friend of mine. After we finished the show, we had the restream still up, and she and I talked for like another 45 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Greatest time. Oh yeah, we're each other's tribe. Yeah, but I share a love of writing along with you, Whimsy. I'm glad we're doing this.
Yeah, and I also want to give a shout out to all of you who have decided to join us today. Thank you to Joel Tilson, the floor director, who helps us see all of your questions so that we don't miss any of them. Also, we want to give a shout out to the amazing Debbie Brady. She is a creative director for many YouTube channels. She really helped us. We got ourselves together thanks to her. She's also a talent manager. She's your talent manager, in fact.
Yes, she's been a miracle worker for me so far. You know, Whimsy, us artists can be extremely disorganized people. We're
Yes, yes.
very, and I know for myself, I very much need a person like Whimsy, well, you too, Whimsy, but I meant to like Debbie, who, shall we say, kicks my ass once in a while and pushes me in the right directions and keeps me on course.
Well, I think artists are notoriously disorganized and not very good at business.
No, I've
So you need
started.
somebody to, I think actors, people, and they need protection too. And I think that one of the things that a good manager does, like Debbie, is they protect you too. You know, knowing you, you would give all your art for free.
Well, not quite, but I've been known to give a few pieces away. Yeah, but no,
This almost looks like Debbie Brady. Speaking of the art piece you have behind you, can you talk to me about that? I'm just very curious.
Well, you know, I wanted to show this because, you know, I usually show celebrities, and I wanted people to see out there that I can just do anybody. You know, if anybody wants a portrait done, I can, or has a old family photo they'd like me to work from. This was done from a black and white photograph, about a, I guess, a 50, 60-year-old picture. But this was my first grade teacher, Mrs.
Oh,
Iris Williams, my favorite teacher I ever had in my whole life. She was probably the first really positive adult influence I ever had, because she was always telling me, Chuck, you're special. Know that. Know how special you are. But something else she said to me, she said, you are free to be anything in the world you want to be. You can live anywhere in the world you want. Now, that may sound like a simplistic statement, but when you're 6 years old and you're so hungry for a positive adult to give you affirmative things, I just took everything she gave me to word and to heart. And I love her so much. And to this day, I still feel her subtle guidance, her subtle influence with me. You
it's
know,
so funny because she kind of does remind me of Debbie. It's kind of like if Debbie were a school teacher, right? So now you kind of have
I thought about that.
That's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
But Mrs. Williams just had this grandmotherly quality about her. And I felt so safe with her. And she was really the one who inspired my great love of reading and my love of learning. It all started with her in the first grade.
Wow.
Anyway, that's my little artwork for today.
Thank you. And of course, if you're interested in checking out all of Chuck Dransfield's work, please check out Chuck Dransfield. What's it called? ChuckDransfield.com is your website.
DransField.com or DransfieldChuck at gmail.com.
Yes.
Different ways.
If they want to reach you, but and if they want to purchase, also you can reach out to Debbie Brady.
Yes.
Well, what do you think? Do you think we should? I think that we have some things we. Well, first off, I think we should do the. Did you get a chance to greet everybody yet? That's the first thing.
Let me see here. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people here saying hi. Chuck and Whimsy, disorganized. Yep, that's me. I'm assuming you're referring to your fact that you're an artist also. And then Claudia said that my portrait looks like Mrs. Doubtfire. I suppose there's some similarity
Yes,
there.
yes, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, and here's yay, Whimsy and Chuck. Oh, thank you, Claudia. Thank you for saying you love the portrait. And let's see, a comment. I hope all the teachers in the chat realize how deep and enduring their influence is. I agree completely. I think teachers are the great unsung heroes. They really are.
Very, very true. Well, would you like to do the empath prayer and then talk hot topics and all that other fun stuff? Does that work?
I would love to. Very
all right. I'll say it, and if people want to meditate or say it to themselves, that's fine. But let's do the empath prayer. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say, Amen. Amen, everyone. I always feel better, particularly when we're, I always feel better when I'm going into, what do they call it? Dangerous waters. So it's always good to have the empath prayer. But
Oh, yeah.
are we ready? Are we ready to go into this? Let's do it.
Oh, yes, let's do
Mr.
it.
Speaker, my friend from Oklahoma says that my colleagues and I who don't support Kevin McCarthy would plunge the House and the country into chaos. Chaos is Speaker McCarthy. Chaos is somebody who we cannot trust with their word. The one thing that the White House, House Democrats, and many of us on the conservative side of the Republican caucus would argue is that the thing we have in common, Kevin McCarthy said something to all of us at one point or another that he didn't really mean and never intended to live up to. I don't think voting against Kevin McCarthy is chaos. I think 33 trillion in debt is chaos. I think that facing a $2.2 trillion annual deficit is chaos. I think that not passing single subject spending bills is chaos. I think the fact that we have been governed in this country since the mid-90s by continuing resolution and omnibus is chaos. And the way to liberate ourselves from that is a series of reforms to this body that I would hope would outlast Speaker McCarthy's time here, would outlast my time here, and would outlast either of our majorities. Reforms that I have heard some of the most conservative members of this body fight for, and some of the reforms that we've been battling for that I've even heard those in the Democrat caucus say would be worthy and helpful to the House.
Well, he just talks out. He makes no sense. He blabbers.
Yeah.
I mean, everything he said, he contradicted everything. There's no way to go. He's living in a dream world. There's no way to go forward without working with Democrats, and that is the delusion. That is all I can say. Do you have feedback?
Well, I just think this has been inevitable. We've seen this coming for months. I think we saw this the day that he was elected Speaker of the House, that he was standing on a hairline crack and it could just fall apart at any time. Because wasn't it always in place that all it was going to take was one person
Yes.
to vote? Yeah, so I knew this was going to happen soon. I'm just surprised. I'm almost surprised the Democrats did not step in to support him more, because I think the Democrats actually wanted him to keep on floundering, to keep making the Republicans look bad. I thought, and some even theorized that, but no, it didn't happen. He was voted out today. I understand it's the first time in American history this has happened with the Speaker of the House.
I think I'm a Democrat, and I think we have Democrats here and independents predominantly, and a few Republicans, but they're Republicans that have either voted for Trump and changed their mind. We have very few people here that still support Trump, though we do have a few Republicans that maybe voted for him and decided not to.
Yeah.
Certainly the direction that the country is going to, it does not appear to be right.
No.
The right side. It seems to be that they're living in, I don't know, I keep saying this, but it just feels to me like they're living in a fantasy world.
Of course. A cult, a fantasy world. You've already done enough readings to show that this is not going to be supported. It's going to fall through.
Which brings, and we can do some blitzes. That's why I wanted to make sure we did the empath prayer first, because I knew that as soon as I saw that, it was going to dominate the show today.
Yes. Well, that and the news about Trump today, but I think this is definitely the hot topic for the day, and where it's going to go, who the new Speaker of the House is going to be. I'm sure that's going to be quite a battle.
Well, that's the conversation too. Then look, it's very frustrating for me and for anybody, I think, who practices HCRV, because we, excuse me, we're trained to be able to step back and look at things objectively. So to watch these people have temper tantrums for 6 months at the expense of the American people is beyond frustrating for me, when the solution is you people need to work together and give up the ego.
It's unconscionable, in my opinion. You know, they're just like bickering little children. These people that have been entrusted to take care of us. That's what they've been entrusted with, something sacred. And that's one of my big issues with politicians, why people cannot take that more seriously. And, you know, to put aside personal needs, party needs, and look at the higher good. It seems to be more about just protecting your party now.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of bad things happened when Trump was elected, but one of the bad things that happened when Trump was elected was that he shut the government down, and then it almost became this thing of like, I gotta mute this. I want to mute this. I'm going to show something else in just a bit, but it was as if he made it legitimate to shut the government down.
Yes, he did. I agree.
I mean, I'm so frustrated by this whole thing.
It's just
yeah,
too
go ahead.
common. But, you know, I made a comment like a week ago. I think it was last week we were talking about this. We were doing the card blitz and I was doing the pendulum. Is there going to be a government shutdown? And I said to you, my impression is that this is just being played for drama. They always seem to swoop in at the last minute and save the day. And I never for a moment did I think the government was going to shut down. But there was a lot of drama. You have to admit that.
Right. So I think what we'll do now is, I think are we getting any questions about this? Because I think we should do some blitzes on this.
Yeah, I'm looking for some questions here. Folks, any questions? I know that the suburban housewife here had a comment. They do not feel entrusted. They feel entitled to exercise dominion. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Let me see here. I'm looking for some questions.
Only about 20% makes it onto the restream. So that's why I also have to open us up and mute us on YouTube so that I can see everything. Like Joel Tilson gets muted. I don't know why. It's like they only pick like 20%. They don't show us everybody. And I don't know why that is.
I don't know why that is either. So I'm scrolling here. If anybody has a question, but if someone does have a question, please chime in. We're ready to start blitzing here.
Well, I think the thing people want to talk about now is, you know, first off, let's talk before we blitz. People had talked to Joaquin Jeffries. They'd had the conversation. There was no, the feedback from him and Pelosi was very clear. He is not a man of honor. He is not a man of integrity. And there's no reason that Democrats should be supporting him.
Yeah. Well, here's a question. Who will be the next speaker? I don't know if we can determine that just with cards. Maybe that would be more of an opinion type of thing.
Well, what I want to do is, first off, is he coming back? Because a lot of people argue that he may be asked to come back.
Oh, that's a good question.
So,
Arthi.
Yeah, let's take a look. Because who's going to replace him? Shall I tell you what I'm getting? Big no. What are you getting? No, and they could pick a woman, a female Republican. Yeah. Look, this is, remember when we did remote views last week, we said there's only one way this can go, which is you two people have to work together, and the nation is not right-wing radical. It's, yeah. This is McCarthy, 6 of Pentacles in the first house, or the first card, 7th house, actually. 6 of Pentacles, he bribed people. You know, people would come to talk to him and he would write them a personal check and say, hey, here's $5,000 because I like you. Is this even legal? So he has the 6 of Pentacles. He basically paid people to pick him, as he bribed people. He was the guy with the money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at this. Packs up and leaves. He's out of the speakership. They want Scalia to come in. You know, that's Scalia's card probably. Yeah. The final outcome is a Queen of Pentacles, which leads me to think either an interim person comes in who's a female, or they pick a female.
Yeah.
Look at this. The devil over his bribes. Where'd the money come from?
Oh my God.
He's the money man, and he's got a devil over his 6 of Pentacles. How's that? I love the cards because they will communicate with you if you look at this. He's coming back in 6 months victorious. That means that he is probably going to be a major Republican operative to try and take back the House in 2024. He's probably going to be heavily involved in that. Confusion over the Scalia. Scalia, you know why? I think Scalia is afraid of another assassination attempt. There's a part of him that wants to lay low.
Yeah.
He's do I really want more attention? Do I really want more? After what he went through, I can't say. He actually wants to downplay a little bit.
Yeah. Here's an interesting thing. Claudia said, rumor has it that Liz Cheney might be in the running for speaker. I don't know. I mean, she's such a pariah with the party right now. Do you think that's even a possibility?
It's getting really complicated, these cards, and they're saying that it's going to get increasingly worse for the Republican Party and that some of them are facing criminal charges, and this will be a huge upset to the House. And the interim person coming in will be able to bridge the gap between the two parties. Justice of the Department of Justice is coming in. People are being arrested. I think 3 people will be charged very soon.
Oh my God!
I think Ghoster is going to be. Look, how much power are they going? How much power is MAGA when 3 of them get hauled off to jail? And say they had a 4-person majority. So then this Queen of Pentacles shows up and says, "Look, I just want to get us through until we can vote for another speaker," and it becomes like this smooth sailing where it's just this subdued, do we agree, do we not agree, until 2024 elections. The Queen of Pentacles is a hidden queen. You don't get a lot of information. She's all business.
Yeah.
So the courts, the justice comes in, and then this lady shows up. So it's the courts are watching, better not break the law. Where's the money coming from? It's like something's going down. Also, hidden woman can be, there's a lot to the Queen of Pentacles.
If I may interrupt you, please, Debbie just said Patty Murray is acting speaker. Maybe could it be her?
Patty Murray is backing who?
Well, that she's the acting speaker right now. I didn't know that myself.
The Senator Patty Murray is the acting congressional speaker.
That's the comment here. Patty Murray is acting speaker. And then
well, that would make sense.
That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that she came in as the Queen of Pentacles, which is all business. The Queen of Pentacles is not a revolutionary. She is the most grounded. She is she holds the money, which is exactly what Congress. I love these cards, man. They communicate so well. Who keeps the money? Congress. Who spends the money? Congress. Who's the speaker of the Queen of Pentacles? She's the money lady. There's a woman coming in, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you think Matt Gaetz will get voted out the next election?
Let's take a look.
Let's get voted out.
You have your pendulum? Are you checking?
Yes, I am. I'm checking it. I'm getting kind of a yes. What are you getting? I'm getting between a maybe and a yes. And it's going more in the direction of yes. Hold it up for people to see.
So you're saying he gets voted out?
That's what I'm getting.
You know what I'm getting? I'm getting something unrelated to that. Does he have a drug or alcohol, or does he have some kind of problem?
Not that I'm aware of. Maybe somebody
They're
out there.
talking about a new beginning, like he gets sober, like something happens where he's got to, and then he's turning down drinks. Yeah. And then this is almost like 12 steps. And he's turning down drinks. Lunatic, look at these drinks.
Huh. Maybe
there was something else that came up that suggested that he had a drinking problem. Oh, temperance, sobriety.
Yeah. Oh, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, that was it. I just.
Okay.
So I think there's something wrong.
Yeah, because I just got another message here from Debbie. Sorry, no. Following Kevin McCarthy's ouster, it was revealed that Representative Patrick McHenry will temporarily lead the House.
Patrick
That's who
Henry.
it's, but you're still getting that it's going to be a woman.
There appears to be a woman coming in.
Yeah.
They could, and what they could do is they could do a round robin where they just it's a rotation where this week it's this person, week it's this person, which they will sometimes do for certain acts. One time it was Marjorie Taylor Greene, respect the house. People were laughing at her.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those situations where it rotates and we just don't have a permanent person until 2024. But I think they will have, because that to me looked like a very strong female energy coming in, balancing the money, no nonsense business type of person. Yeah.
This is kind of shifting gears here, but the other story in the news today was the latest gag order on Donald Trump. Not to speak out against basically anything concerning his trial. I mean, it's hasn't this been imposed before? The gag orders.
God,
It's going to jail. I guess that's the big question.
I think I had it up and then somehow I accidentally deleted it. But yeah, we did have a thing on. I wanted to be able to show it on YouTube, but it looks like he's in trouble again. But isn't that to be expected with him? He's always getting into
it's very much to be expected. I'm just amazed he hasn't gone to jail yet.
Okay, here it is. This is the thing I wanted everybody to see. Hold on a second. All right, let me see. Okay. All right. I think it's all very dramatic these days when the way people have been talking.
Arthur Engoron, who Donald Trump has been going after outside of the courtroom, has now put a gag order on all parties in the case, a specific gag order, though, regarding posting or publicly speaking about any member of his staff. This follows a Truth Social post from Donald Trump earlier today naming the judge's clerk and claiming that she shouldn't be in that position because she was friendly with Chuck Schumer. There was a picture of the two of them together. Joining us now is NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard, who's outside the courthouse, and former FBI General Counsel Andrew Weissman, and NBC News legal analyst. So, Vaughn, I very briefly touched on what happened, but please do explain what led to this gag order.
Right. I just ran out of the courtroom where this trial is beginning again here this afternoon in Lower Manhattan. And that principal law clerk of the judge continues to sit next to him about 3 feet away and about 10 feet away from Donald Trump, who remains in the courtroom this afternoon. This began in around the 11 a.m. hour during one of the courtroom breaks, when Donald Trump posted on his so-called Truth social media account a photo of this principal law clerk with Chuck Schumer and suggested that she was Chuck Schumer's girlfriend.
Oh, boy.
Oh. He just digs himself in deeper and deeper and deeper.
Can you believe that this nut job was our president? I mean, I shouldn't even say. I just did the empath's prayer, and I'm calling. I got to watch the way. But I start to believe he was the president of the United States.
I mean, that night, election night 2016, we were all sitting horrified watching the election coverage. I never was able to accept it. I was never able to believe it.
Didn't the next day I cry in your arm? I think you held me, right? I sobbed or something.
Yes, I did. And I was trying to keep.
And then I got out early and ran to replace my passport. Right? I got to get another passport.
Yes.
So
along those lines, yeah.
All right, so let's ask the question: is he going to be able to hold? Does he? Nothing seems to happen when they give him these gag orders, right?
No, it's like the man is coated in Teflon from head to toe. Everything just rolls off of him.
Well, let's take a look. Is he going to get arrested for violating?
I'm going to get arrested for violating his
Is he eventually going to get incarcerated? I mean,
Going to eventually get incarcerated?
are they going to jail him for this? Because the man cannot, he wants to be jailed.
You know what? I'm just getting kind of a maybe right now. I'm not getting a strong yes. What do you get?
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah.
A new beginning in the investigation. He's heartbroken. What happened to him and his kids really messed him up psychologically. Look at all this grief and heartbreak.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if he cared about his kids or not.
Four of Swords in the grave. I wonder if this guy even has the mental wherewithal to serve time in prison. You know, I don't predict death or anything, but I don't think his health is so great right now.
Well, that's certainly no surprise. I mean, the stress he's been under, the infamous McDonald's and KFC diet. I mean, we've all been wondering how a man can consume so much sodium and cholesterol and keep going and going and going the way he does. It's like nothing brings him down. He's like a Freddy Krueger monster.
And what does he live on? Diet? What is it? Diet Pepsi? Diet Coke and
Probably.
And Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, Kentucky Fried Chicken, infamous. He's infamous for his McDonald's diet. He once used the excuse that he felt it was safer for him because he knew the food wouldn't be poisoned.
Well, that's what Putin told him that.
Yeah, never mind, the food is poison,
They order fast food to go, and then you don't know who's going to get the burger.
Right.
So
right.
that's.
There probably is a grain of wisdom to that. Someone here asked a really good question. This is shifting gears slightly, but it's along the lines of Joe Biden's safety.
Oh, will he remain safe? Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, can we look at Joe Biden's safety? I think that's a very good question. I don't know quite what to ask of my pendulum with that.
Will he remain safe?
Will Joe Biden remain safe?
Yeah.
That's such an ambiguous question because safe can mean so many different things.
From violent assault or from violence.
Safe from violent assault. Okay. When I asked, is he safe from violent assault, I got a yes. When I asked if he's safe, I got a no. But I think that was because of the ambiguity of the question.
Smoother waters lay ahead.
Yeah.
For the nation. Republicans are going to try and reach across the aisle to save themselves. It might only be a few months prior to the elections, but there's an Ace of Cups coming to him. So, no, I don't see physical injury or anything like that. In fact, quite the opposite. He's steering the boat towards smoother waters for the nation. Yeah. Why fight a good president who's trying to get us out of a fentanyl? We're at war with China. We're at war. We're in the middle of an opioid war. They're trying to do this fentanyl crisis, and now they're mixing it with a new zombie drug. Oh my God. So they've got to work with, they're not helping our country right now. We are in a critical situation. There's war. There's ages 18 to 45. The number one killer is fentanyl and tranq. So this is not the time for the nation to be divided. This is the time for the nation to come together. And
yeah, I agree. It's just nonsense. People putting their party first and not the higher good of the people, the higher good of the nation and these issues. But, that's kind of redundant. I keep saying that, but it saddens me. It always has. I'm old enough to remember when politicians did put their country first. They did what was right. It wasn't about the party. I'm old enough to remember as a kid the Watergate hearings and Nixon, and the Republican Party did what was right. So so that's always at the back of my mind, that memory of when that used to be the norm. And what we're seeing right now is very disturbing to me.
Yeah. Well, this is a bit of shocking. This is a bit of a shocking video, but and it's something I was hesitating to show people, but I do think we should have this conversation. This is out of Philadelphia, the trank epidemic. Now, trank is a drug that's used to lace and the fentanyl, and it creates zombie-like symptoms. Take a look at this film footage. What do you think? Want to talk about it? Oh, looks like I lost Chuck, so Chuck will have to come back. But that's okay. He comes, he goes. He freezes, he returns. That's okay. So let's talk. While Chuck is finding his way back to the stream, maybe he got taken out by a zombie. I don't know. I was doing a meditation on this last night, and let me just let him know. He got knocked out of the stream. Okay. I was doing a meditation on this last night, and it really, I think most Americans feel like something is wrong. Oh, it could be that he lost his satellite. I think the satellite might be down. That's okay. But what I wanted to talk about is that the reason we're feeling invaded by this thing, the reason why we're feeling like, make it stop, is because this is an actual war. And the amount of actual fentanyl needed to make you an addict. I mean, you could be walking down the street and somebody blows this stuff on you. That's how addictive this is. And it's absolutely terrifying. And I lived in downtown Portland, and we have a fentanyl addiction here, just like every major city in downtown. And this is one of the things that caused a falling out between Joe Biden and President Xi, was the fact that they're not shutting down the production of the precursor drug. So you have labs in China that are making the precursor, and then the process is completed in Mexico, and then it's being brought through the border in Mexico. And if this process is not stopped soon, it will be, the consequences of this war will be devastating for the whole country. It's going to be a question of which one of us can survive, because you may be the most innocent person in the world with no past history of drugs, but if somehow you get exposed to this, or something happens that even an accidental exposure, then you find yourself pulled into this. And so it really is like a zombie apocalypse horror, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it looks like Chuck is out. It looks like he was having problems. The Starlight. We've been having problems with the Starlight. I guess they have a. Oh, there he is. It's, but I think it's the Starlight.
Sorry about that. The Wi-Fi went out or something.
Yeah, I think they're having a lot of problems with the Starlight, and I think actually they're losing. There's some issues about even having legal control over it now because there's so many problems.
Really?
I'm glad. The problem that you were having earlier with your stream is improved.
Well, that's good at least. I'm glad.
Yeah, because I think there was something going on with Starlight today, and I also think they were doing some fixing in your area, because it's great now.
Yeah, well, good. Thank goodness for that. Thank you, everybody, for your patience.
So what did you think of the zombie trank imagery?
Well,
you out?
my internet went out. moment you started the video, so I didn't get to see it. Maybe you can tell me a little about it.
Well, I don't think people want to see it again. It's too upsetting.
No.
But we're just
I'll let
talking
you talk about it.
we're talking about the fact that fentanyl has become the weapon of war with China, and that it's an opioid war, and it's so cheap and easy to make, and it takes only a few amounts to make you an addict. If someone saw a cop, I've seen this happen, and they're folding it up, and they see a cop, and they blow it, and you're just walking by, you could wind up in an ER. That's how deadly this stuff is.
Right. But for some reason, you're making me think of the crystal meth industry. Also, I'm thinking of the TV show Breaking Bad.
Yes.
How lucrative that is, and how easy it is to make, and portable, and so forth. There's some similarities there, but it's just
portable. Yes, portable. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Accessible, portable, cheap, and highly seductive. Yeah.
Well, I thought we would now get down to things that are a little bit. You want to go more to the. Would you like to go to the weird news? Which news would you like to hear next?
After that internet debacle right now, I'd love to go to the weird news. Let's go to something light.
Well, here's something that's actually true. It really did happen, and it makes me think that Sharon Osbourne may be a trance medium. This is true. It's not fake. Yeah. Sharon Osbourne lost consciousness, and they did not get a pulse. There was no pulse. She was not breathing. She was rushed to ER. Let's take a look at the film footage. I promise you, it is not fake. Repeat, this is not fake. Take a look.
Were you here during Prohibition?
Her son's haunting show. Is it Haunted Places?
Yeah.
She lets out the breath, and then they said they couldn't get a pulse, and they could not. There was no pulse, and there was no respiration.
Sharon, are you okay?
For several minutes.
Oh my God.
Guys, if you can hear me on Sharon's mic, she's in some kind of catatonic state.
I'm gonna go check on my mom. Make sure she's in one piece. Mom? How you doing? Hello? Mom? Hey. 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 Mom? Mom? Hey, lights on now.
Jesus.
I know. I watched that earlier today. It was very disturbing. And you know why it was particularly disturbing? It's like last week I talked about how I know Russell Brand personally. Well, you and I both have known Sharon Osbourne.
Yes, of course.
Hollywood. We both know what a dear, sweet woman she is. Very intelligent.
She's lovely.
She's brilliant. And so it was extra hard for me to see her in that state.
I think it's fun. People want to have fun. They think it's going to be fun to do a show like that, but I think it's dangerous sometimes.
Yes, most definitely it is. I mean, it's for no accident you do the empath's prayer every single time we do a card blitz or anything. Whenever I do any of my meditation spirit writings, I always pray heavily. I'm very sensitive to this type of energy, and I'm very aware of the danger. And I wonder if Sharon was, you said that Sharon is a skeptic about this type of thing. So maybe
she doesn't believe in it.
So maybe she just didn't prepare properly, doing the spiritual hygiene, doing the prayer.
You've talked to her. She's no nonsense. Very no nonsense.
Very no nonsense.
I mean, they find it fascinating, her and her husband. I mean, they've watched UFO film footage. We've got, and she's given her opinion. And but every time, she's like, well, I'm sure there's a scientific explanation, or, it's the military. her nature is to be a very practical person.
Oh.
So to have her go into a trance state like that, they brought an ambulance. They actually had to administer in the, she came back, but that just tells me this stuff is dangerous. And if you're going to get into this stuff, they're treating it like it's a joke, and I think it's dangerous.
No, you never treat this lightly. I mean, when you're talking about the spirit world, you're talking good, bad, evil. It's any number of things. You've got to be fully protected. You've got to know what you're doing before you tread into this.
Yeah.
I've known too many people who have been a little too amateurish about this sort of thing, and I've watched it for myself when they have taken on bad energy and they can't shake it off for a long time. I'm sure you've seen it yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, we have another bit of weird news, because let's face facts, we are all about the weird. We celebrate the weird, and Bigfoot may be real. Let's take a look.
Clear up an ancient mystery with the help of a prominent veterinarian who says she can prove that Bigfoot exists and that he's related to all of us. ABC's Nick Watt tracked her down.
He's elusive, almost human, a cornerstone of our mythology. And now someone is saying Harry and the Hendersons could actually be like a documentary? There's someone with a scientific background, a vet, who says Bigfoot is real and actually related to us humans.
I was a skeptic. I did not believe these things existed at all prior to this study.
She's talking analysis of Sasquatch fur. After a 5-year study, more than 100 DNA samples, Dr. Melba Ketchum believes the species developed 15,000 years ago, a hybrid cross between Homo sapiens and an unknown primate.
Nobody has ever found another type of people that are living contemporary to us. I mean, they live right under our noses, and we never even were able to get proof of this until now.
Listen, there have been innumerable sightings. Some Sasquatch hunters have even deigned to speak to Conan O'Brien.
See, I know they exist.
You know he exists, and
They
exist. There's more than one Bigfoot.
They're a species. They're like a primate.
Really? Really? He even has his own Animal Planet series.
These are not just animals. These are a type of people. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to be found.
Okay, maybe it's too weird, but even the possibility, oh my goodness, I want to believe. Can you imagine if Bigfoot is actually real? For Good Morning America, Nick Watt, ABC News, New York.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, what do I think? This certainly ties in with conversations we've had before about all of these. What was it? Could you say it's like a splintering off of the family tree of humanity? You're the great anthropologist, but these fractions of creatures that can be in hiding. Yes, there it is. There's the tree. All of these subdivisions of, I hope I'm choosing my words right, subdivisions of humanity, and they've been hiding and dwelling in places of the world, like caves underground, possibly underwater. They've managed to adapt to these situations that normal human beings can't.
Yes, that's the idea. Yeah, exactly. So, what I always love when I look at these is the arrogance that we assume we're on the top. And I love the fact that they're doctors. Like who is the alpha human in the idea of the scientist? The scientist, right? So we've got all these white coats sitting there, right? We're the top of the chain. But but what's upsetting us about contact with cryptids and unknown species that look a little bit more like this is that they go off. Maybe there had been some genetic crossbreeding. For example, we see here Homo neanderthalis, there was genetic mutations. I actually have 2% Neanderthal DNA.
Do you?
More than most people, actually.
Oh.
Yes. Now, Homo florensis, I can't pronounce it. He died out about 20,000 years ago. He was a small pygmy that lived on islands. And, that would make sense because you have to be small to survive limited resources. So he would be closer to like 3 feet, like what we see with the grays. So yeah, that's the basic idea, is that one of these groups may have survived, and that is why they share, maybe across. It could also be that if she's not saying it's Homo Neanderthal,
Yeah.
then it could be maybe she's getting Hyder Gallus, because Hyder Gallus is actually very close to what Bigfoot looks like, and the height differences, etc., would make sense because he can get much taller than, say, some of the other species.
Yeah.
So that was the whole theory behind that. Something to think about. I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
What's our audience think? That's the bigger question, right?
Comments here, but I'm still reeling over the fact that you have 2% DNA Neanderthal. You never told me this before.
Yeah, well, I did the family tree DNA. What is it called?
Where they take your saliva and do a DNA test. And
most humans from Europe have 2% Neanderthal, but people from Africa have no Neanderthal.
Yeah.
So, of course, lots of people having jokes about that. So it's white people. White people have Neanderthal DNA, and I have more than most. So.
Yeah, well, my sister and I did that test a few years ago, and there were no surprises there. We were mostly Northern European ancestry also. I was expecting a little more exotic, but that was basically it. Mostly around England, Northern Europe, a little bit of Greece. That was all. So maybe I have a little Neanderthal.
Probably.
I guess so. Oh, here's a comment. Lisa said, my dad has 4% Neanderthal.
Wow, very cool.
Another person made a comment that most redheads have higher numbers of Neanderthal DNA.
Interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, that's something.
I think I had more than 2%, but yeah, it was a little bit more than the average. But,
yeah, as was pointed out by Marjorie here, 2% is a low average, but it's just the fact to even have any of that.
Yeah, Europeans have it because they died out in Africa, but the Neanderthal survived. They needed a massive amount of calories to live, and they didn't have the tool technology of Homo sapiens sapien. And so we went into their hunting areas, and they simply were outcompeted into extinction. But we also bred with Neanderthal, and their accusation, but that when Homo sapiens sapien comes to Europe, that they begin to rape and pillage, and that's why there's this DNA sharing.
I was going to even ask you that question. I was going to ask you that question. You answered that for me.
Yeah, that basically that they were able to share DNA. A long time we didn't think that they could, but now we see that they did.
Well, you taught me something.
Yes. Now I wanted to also say before we close today, Debbie Brady has a fan. If you guys want to join the fan pages for the Oracle of Whimsy, Debbie Brady's been kind enough to start a fan pages, and once a month she picks someone to get a free reading with me. Did you know that, Chuck?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did know that.
You want to announce the winner for the month of September?
Yes. Bonnie Liz Norris is the winner this month.
Bonnie Liz Norris. Congratulations.
Liz Norris. I hope I said that correctly.
Bonnie Liz Norris. Yes, you have a free reading with me. You can text me at the text number or send me an email at whimsyanderson@gmail.com, and we will set up your free reading.
Oh, Bonnie, you're lucky. You're going to have a lot of fun.
We're going to go a little later today because we started late, but I thought, what the heck? We love and romance, except when love and romance doesn't work out, right?
Yeah.
Looks like Jody Turner Smith has filed for divorce from Joshua Jackson. Let's watch and weep together. They were the it couple.
Jody Turner Smith and Joshua Jackson are calling it
quits. Tell me
According to court documents obtained by E! News on October 2nd, Jody has filed for divorce from the actor after 4 years of marriage. The Queen and Slim star cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for the breakup and requested joint custody of the pair's 3-year-old daughter. Their date of separation is listed as September 13th. E! News has reached out to their reps for comment but has not yet heard back. The pair wed in a secret ceremony in 2019. Back in March, during an exclusive interview with E! News, Joshua opened up about his and Jody's relationship, revealing the most surprising thing is that it's a lot more homey than it looks like from the outside. It's very, very baby-oriented and family-oriented inside the house.
Oh.
Oh.
See,
Well,
I think that they should stay together simply because they would make such beautiful children together.
Well,
they have one daughter, I guess.
well, they would. They're two beautiful people. There's no question about that. But I don't know if that's enough reason for a couple to stay together.
I
You know?
mean, it's just I love romance and I love stories of love and romance. And when it doesn't work out, and they both seem like such unbelievably cool people, and their story is so funny. Like, I guess they both went to a party. I think it was, I don't know where it was, if it was LA or wherever, but they went to one of these parties and he saw her.
Yeah.
And it was lust at first sight. And he drug her off to a room and he made love to her. Yes, at the party after just one, just like this, I got to have this woman, right? So started off, that's how the relationship starts. You can, the sizzle, right? The sizzle between these two.
Yeah.
Imagine just seeing somebody and just like, I have to be with you, and just like literally in the middle of a party running off. And
you know what? My own belief is that's not always just physical lust, which it could be, but I really, I believe that souls find each other, even if they're meant to just be there a short time, like in a case like this. But when there's that instant spark, that instant attraction, at least that's been my experience. The few times it's happened to me or I've seen it happen to others. It's quite amazing. But, that soulmate spark does not necessarily mean it's going to last a lifetime. Sometimes we have a shorter purpose with each other, but we're meant to be together.
Well, somebody said lust, not love. And that's what he said. He said it was like lust. And then they fell in love after. So it's always the question, you get to know someone and then you have sex with them. But he said in their relationship, they did everything backwards. It was like going to be a one-night stand, lust, that was it. And then they fell in love later. So I just think that was a kind of a great story. I mean, it's not a done deal. People say that he still wants to work it out. I'm really hoping they will. But they just are such a cute couple.
Yeah, they are. They are beautiful together. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah. So if you had as much fun today as we did, hopefully you'll come back again. You'll like and subscribe. Is there any announcements we didn't make that we were supposed to be making, John?
I think we got everything. I can check.
It's everything. Let's look here. We did the empath's prayer. We got your art. We saw Sharon Osbourne get possessed.
Okay, I'm just going over my little notes here. I think we covered everything.
Yay! All right. Well, thank you.
Glitches and everything. Thank you, folks, for putting up with the glitches today.
It's not a big deal. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Yes. Soulmates coming to you to bring you children. That sounds lovely. Yeah.
My soulmate was in my life to bring me my son.
Oh, the book club. The book club is and we meet once a month, Kay, the last Tuesday, and we will actually be interviewing Heather Hardison at the end of the month. Next week at 6 p.m., we will be having a special guest, and that is because we are going to be interviewing. Yes. You want to tell them what's going to happen?
Yeah, Sandra Rogers. We had some technical problems, big surprise there, when she was supposed to be doing her interview a month ago. And it's a fabulous book. Whimsy and I both loved it very much. And Sandra deserves to have her moment in the spotlight and be interviewed properly. And that's what we're going to do next week.
Yes, and you will have new power. He's upping the power of his feed, so it'll be a bit better.
This
As long as-
Saturday morning, I'm getting higher broadband installed, so hopefully things are going to be better next time, and this nonsense isn't going to happen anymore.
Yeah, I think you did great. All
Okay.
right, everybody, we're out of here. Be kind to all so that all can be kind to you too. We had a great show. Thank you for your patience with the glitches, and we are out of here. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.